Okay, welcome to another edition of Lion News. Lion News can be found at lionnews00.blogspot.com. Today is Wednesday, December 22nd, 2010. And we're going to talk about cameras and the harness that I use to carry my cameras in a hands-free approach. Alright, you can see that I've got a canvas material here that I've made the harness out of. And the harness consists essentially of three straps, or three loops. One loop around the bottom, which I've sewn here, another loop up above, which I've sewn here, and then a third loop that goes all the way around the camera and around my neck, which is sewn up here. Then each one of the loops is sewn to attach itself to the side here. Alright? And so it's sewn. You don't have to sew it. You could staple it if you really wanted to. I mean, so within a short amount of time you could have something, workable. Okay? But what you absolutely have to have is this piece of Velcro on the back. Now, why do I have Velcro on the back here? Well, to prevent this camera from going side to side or forwards and backwards. I want it stabilized. So it's going to move a certain amount when you walk, but it's not going to sit there like a pendulum or bounce out and back when you're walking around. That is really annoying when people are trying to watch that. Okay, so what I have is another strap here, which is long enough to go around a winter jacket, and I've got some more Velcro on it to hook the two pieces to the two ends together, and then a piece of Velcro in the front here to attach to the back of the camera, or to the back of the camera harness. And this way it's going to prevent it from going out, and it's going to prevent it from going side to side. Alright? And in a little bit we'll get into why it's important to have it this way. Okay? But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my cameras, the ones that I use. Okay? This camera right here is a Flip Ultra camera. And this is what the box says about it. There it is right here. White and blue camcorder, 4 gigabytes of memory, records 2 hours. Alright? It's a very nice camera. And the reason why I like it is because it has 2 AA batteries in it. Okay? Now, the nice thing about that is if your batteries are dead, you just take them out and you put in some different ones. Alright? Like I said, this one cost me $100. Okay? It's a cheap camera, but it's a nice quality camera. Okay, I should say it's an inexpensive camera, but it gives very nice quality pictures. Alright? The camera that I'm filming with is a Flip Mino camera, and that thing cost me $250 when it was brand new. Okay, now it's down like to $150. But there's two things wrong with it. One, it's 8 gigabytes of memory and it will film for 2 hours. At least it used to film for 2 hours. See, now it only filmed for 1 hour, so that means I only have 4 gigabytes of film that I'll be able to get out of it, unless I stop the camera and recharge it, and then film again. Okay, alright, I guess what you can do is use it for a USB and haul extra film around it if you really want, but I bought it to be a camera, not a USB, or a jump drive. Okay? So, also the second reason that I have a problem with the Flip Mino camera is if it will overheat, and if it overheats it will turn off. So I've had it stop in the middle of action. Well, that's not acceptable. In fact, it stopped at some times where I wish I had that film. Okay, so it's a good thing we had backup cameras going at the time, otherwise we'd have been in trouble. Okay, so the important thing is you need a reliable camera, and I love the Flip Mino. I mean, that's why I'm using it now to film this, because that's the only thing I can trust it for is just short little films where I can keep an eye on it. Okay, but to take it out in the field, no way. I wouldn't take it out in the field anymore. Okay, so again, this is why I like this camera. It's inexpensive, gives good film, has nice sound to it, and it has the 2 AA batteries. Okay. Very essential. And this model number is U1120BL. Okay? My backup camera is a Kobe Snap. And this thing only cost me like $30. Okay, it cost me just as much, if not more, for the extra memory in it to boost up to 2 hours. All right, but it also uses 2 AA batteries, which I have absolutely no problem with at all. I think I'm just going to only get cameras that have the AA batteries instead of these internal batteries, because once your internal battery's done, you're done. Okay, again, one button, you just push the button, and then you push this button here, and it starts to fill, and you're ready to go. Okay, and that's one thing I forgot to mention about this flip Ultra camera here. It's real easy to use. Okay, you just push the power button, on comes the power, and you push this button, and you're ready to film. Okay, now this is essential that it's easy and quick to use, because maybe you have a stalker coming up on you, or a cop just pops up on you. Okay, you need to have a camera that's easy to use, and that's this little flip camera. It's really nice and easy to use. That's why I really like it. Okay, also we're going to get another topic here real quick, is people who do not turn on their cameras. They wait for the action to stop, wait for the action to start. Okay, do not do that. You will miss the action every single time. I've done it, other people have done it. So if you're going to go to the police station, turn it on before you get in the police station. If you're going to go to a county commissioner meeting, turn it on before you get to the county commissioner meeting. All right? Because the action is going to happen before you know it. Okay? So you want to have your camera running. You know, there's nothing worse than someone saying, oh, I missed this action or I missed that action, and trying to give a description of it afterwards. I don't care what your description is. Okay? I want an objective point of view, and that comes from this camera. This camera does not take sides. This camera is unbiased. It will record what it sees and record what it hears. Okay? It does not forget. You will forget, or you will misunderstand, you'll misinterpret. No, I don't care what your opinion is of the situation, especially some commentary afterwards. I want to know what happened during. That's why you need to have your camera on while the action is happening. Okay? And why do I want to have a hands-free approach? Okay, a hands-free approach is essential for numerous reasons. One, I like to hand out flyers, and I like to talk with my hands. I can't do that if I have a camera in my hands, or one in each hand. Okay? I mean, for obvious reasons. My hands are full. Okay? And if I do try and talk with my hands, and all of a sudden my camera is flying all around, and you're going to get seasick watching my hands fly all around. Okay? So that's why I like to have the camera on my chest. I don't have to worry about it. I know where it's at. As long as it's running, I know I'm getting sound and pictures. Okay? If it's in my hand, I don't know where this thing is going, or where it's pointing, or whatever. Okay? That's not acceptable. I don't care for that. Alright? I mean, sometimes you need to have a hands-free. I mean, if you got someone that is running backup for you, then there's no problem. Because, you know, they can hold the camera, they can keep an eye on the little screen back here so they can see what's playing and whatever, so they can see what's, you know, frame it properly and whatever. Okay? And sometimes you need to have that holding onto a camera to intimidate, like, say, some cops who don't like you filming. Okay? Because if you didn't have the camera, they'd, you know, kick the crap out of you. Alright? So, you know, can't say that, you know, the hands-free works for all situations, you know, but in general, I prefer it, you know, hands-free. Sometimes you need to have you know, point the camera in their face. But the problem with pointing the camera in the face is they know you've got the camera. And a lot of people will clam up, you know, if you got a camera in their face. And if you want to get some embarrassing confessions from an elected official or some cop, the last thing you want to do is stick the camera in his face. If you're wearing it, majority of people who I film have no idea I'm wearing a camera. I mean, it's sitting on my chest. You'd have to be an idiot not to notice it, okay? But they'll look down at it and they won't know what it's about, you know, until they've seen their film on YouTube, and then they know what it's all about, all right? So that's why you want to have the hands free, so you can catch people who are doing something wrong, okay? Now, the disadvantage of holding onto a camera is a major safety issue, okay? There are people who get shot by trigger-happy cops who claim that this is a gun. Okay, now you look at it. Does this look like a gun to you? Nope. not in the slightest. But they'll claim that that is a gun, okay? Or a cell phone is a gun. So some trigger-happy idiot will blow your head off and say, "Oh, geez, that's a gun. I thought that was a gun. That's an honest mistake." Yeah, well, you're dead. You can't argue that. You know, he's going to be alive and laughing because you're dead. Okay? No, I want my hands free so they can see all 5 fingers on each hand. So I got 10. See? Because you're dealing with someone who has the average IQ of 104. Okay? And I said this before. Average IQ of a cop is 104. Associated Press reports that the national average for police officers is an IQ of 104 or slightly above average. Now this is a story based on an Associated Press story published by ABC News, Too Smart to be a Cop, on 09/08/00. If you have a problem with that information, you take it up with ABC News, or you take it up with the federal court who heard the lawsuit, where this information comes from. Here it is right here. Associated Press reports the national average for police officers is an IQ of 104, or slightly above average. Okay? If you have a problem with this information, that's not my problem. That's your problem. Okay? I didn't make it up. Okay. So hopefully you've learned something today why I think it's important that you go with the hands-free approach. I think it definitely outweighs the negative effects of holding on to a camera. Okay? So again, hopefully you learned something, and we'll see you next time.